They thought they could bury me in silence, strip away the life I'd bled for. But in that suffocating boardroom, with my brother's venomous words still echoing, I unleashed the storm he'd never anticipated. The man who'd vowed to shatter my world unless I surrendered my stake for pennies on the dollar was about to learn that betrayal cuts both ways, and sometimes the one you underestimate becomes the blade that ends you. When the smoke cleared, it wasn't me walking away empty-handed, it was him. His empire in ruins. His freedom hanging by a thread. My name is Emily Hayes, and for the last 7 years, I've been the Chief Operating Officer at Hayes Property Ventures, the commercial real estate powerhouse my father carved out of Chicago's cutthroat market, starting with nothing but a rundown warehouse in the Loop. At 32, I'd clawed my way there through endless nights crunching numbers, deals that turned failing districts into gold mines, and an instinct for spotting risks that others dismissed as paranoia. But none of that counted for my brother, Alex Hayes, who'd snatched the CEO spot just because he was the oldest son in our old-school family, where tradition trumped talent every time. The day it all unraveled began like any other grind. I was buried in development forecasts in my glass-walled office when Alex's secretary buzzed me. "Mr. Hayes requires your presence in the executive suite." Now, the cold formality hit like a warning shot. Alex usually just stormed in, reeking of entitlement and overpriced aftershave. I stepped into the room to find him posed by the massive windows overlooking the glittering Lake Michigan horizon, arms crossed like he owned the sky itself. At 36, he'd mastered the facade of untouchable power, tailored suits from Milan, salt and pepper hair slicked just right, and that fake grin that masked the ice in his hazel eyes. "Emily," he drawled without glancing back. "Glad you could make it. What's this about?" "Alex, I've got the Lincoln Park investors in 45. He pivoted slowly, and the gleam in his eye twisted my gut. I'd seen it before. Right when he'd axed our old finance director for daring to audit his pet projects, or when he'd bulldozed a rival firm in a shady merger. "Scrap it." He shoved a thick envelope across the mahogany table. "We're talking about your role here. Or lack thereof." I didn't flinch. Didn't touch it. "My role? I hold 30% of this company." "Alex, that's not going anywhere." "Oh, really?" His lips curled into something predatory. "I've put up with your crap long enough, your endless pushback in meetings, your roadblocks on my growth strategies, your whispers to the board. It's exhausting." "You mean my push for compliance and not screwing over tenants?" He barked a laugh that bounced off the sterile walls like broken glass. "Compliance? Dad's been gone 4 years. His fairy tale ideas about honest business buried with him. The casual gut punch to our father's memory stung deep. But I held my poker face. Alex thrived on emotional cracks he could pry open. "Cut the bullshit. Alex, what do you want?" "Out. Sell me your shares at half market value. Sign a non-compete. And fade away gracefully." I couldn't help the scoff. "You're delusional." "Am I?" He tapped the envelope. "That's the deal. Take it. Or I'll make sure you're radioactive in this town, hell. In any market." "You're threatening me?" "I'm offering an exit with your dignity." He leaned in, voice dropping to a hiss. "That packet's got dirt on the West Side Tower fiasco you botched last year. The one that bled us $2 million. My veins turned to ice, not from panic, but realization. West Side had tanked due to a phantom zoning snag that popped up post-signature, reeking of sabotage. "That wasn't your name's on every page," he cut in. "And I've got emails, your emails, proving you skimped on due diligence. Fakes. And you damn well know it." He shrugged. "Casual as poison. Good luck proving that. I've got a buddy at the Chicago Tribune itching for a scoop on executive screw-ups at Hayes Ventures. Picture the headlines: COO's negligence tanks investor millions. You'd be done." I rose deliberately. mind spinning through contingencies, weighing alliances. Mom, still frail from her heart surgery, controlled 15%, but had handed Alex her proxy in a misguided bid for family peace. The rest? Scattered investors who bowed to the loudest voice. "You've got 24 hours," Alex said, turning back to his kingdom view. After that, I pull the trigger. I snatched the envelope but didn't crack it. "You know, Dad always said you had the drive but not the heart." His jaw tightened, the only tell. 24 hours. Don't push it. I strode out steady, but my pulse thundered in the elevator. Alone in my office, I finally peeled open the packet. The forgeries were pro-level. Timestamps doctored. Trails leading straight to me. But Alex had slipped. He'd just awakened the part of me that had been quietly arming for this betrayal. Unlike him, I'd been collecting shadows for years. Knowing blood didn't guarantee loyalty. Back at my desk, I locked the door and stared at the city sprawl. The skyline Dad had reshaped from a single flip in the 80s, teaching us that family was the unbreakable foundation. How had it fractured so badly? The cracks had started showing long ago. I flashed back to 3 years prior. During the River North bid, I'd nurtured that deal for months, courting the owners, a retired vet and his wife, who wanted guarantees for their low-income residents. It was locked until Alex hijacked it, jacked up the offer, lied through his teeth, then gutted the place for high-end lofts, evicting everyone. "You're too bleeding heart," he'd sneered post-close. This is survival, not a soup kitchen. But the real eye-opener was what he did to Jordan Reyes, our ex-acquisitions lead. Jordan had sniffed out Alex siphoning funds via dummy vendors for inflated bids. When he threatened a whistleblow, Alex framed him for theft, had him cuffed at his kid's soccer game. Charges dropped eventually, but Jordan's life imploded. Divorce, blacklisted, fled to Texas. I'd ached to intervene, but proof was thin. Alex was slick. After that, I started my own vault, emails, ledgers, anomalies, just in case. Then came the Toronto joint venture 18 months back. I'd spearheaded it, jetting back and forth, bridging cultural gaps, locking in a $30 million windfall. Night before signing, Alex yanked me home for a crisis. By my return, he'd rewritten the terms, claimed the glory. "You laid bricks, I built the wall," he'd smirked. The board ate it up. Profits were profits. My warnings? Ignored. The deepest scar hit post-Dad's passing last year. At the attorney's office, the will split shares evenly. Mom keeping a slice. With a sealed letter, "My children. This isn't just assets, it's our bond. Success is in lifting others, in unyielding honor. Protect one another." Alex had chuckled low. "Old man's gone soft." That sealed it. We weren't siblings anymore. We were rivals in a silent war. His pattern was crystal: steal wins, dodge blame, purge dissenters. Our finance guy, Tom Ellis, booted for flagging over-leveraged loans. Legal head, Lisa Chin, resigned after balking at shady clauses. I'd endured as family, and my stake made me untouchable. Until now. The West Side hit he'd weaponized? I'd always suspected his fingerprints, maybe via his City Hall crony, but no hard link. Now, he was twisting his own knife against me. I dug out my phone, thumbing to a contact dormant for months. Sophia Reyes, Jordan's cousin, a razor-sharp attorney who ditched big law to solo after Alex torched her family. She'd once whispered, "If he comes for you, I'm your call." Today was that day. But first, I yanked a thumb drive from my safe. Tucked behind mundane files, my arsenal of suspicions. I'd prayed it'd stay buried. That Alex might rediscover his soul. That we'd honor Dad's dream. That prayer died in his threats. If he craved battle, he'd face the sister who'd learned patience is power. Dad's words echoed, "The quiet fighter strikes hardest." By lunchtime, I was huddled with Sophia in a nondescript diner in Wrigleyville, miles from Hayes Towers. She hadn't aged a day, keen gaze behind rimless specs, threads of gray in her dark bob. An aura of contained fury that had won her courtroom legends. "Emily," she murmured over black coffee. "Your call didn't surprise me. I've been waiting." I slid the envelope over. 24 hours to cave or he nukes me. She dissected it page by page. Face hardening. Expert fakes. Headers manipulated like art. She met my eyes. "But you knew that. The real play's what he's hiding." My heart raced. "He's been dipping company funds for personal plays. Offshore stuff. I think he's gearing for a big dump." Sophia nodded. "If he's rushing you out, it's to consolidate before a fire sale spikes value." I whipped out my phone. One more call. Derek Thompson picked up fast. Been forever. Derek. Our fired IT whiz. Canned for refusing to scrub logs. "This about Alex?" "Yeah. Can you pull deleted backups?" "Offshore trails. Last 6 months." Pause. I buried a shadow server before I bounced. Felt this coming. "Give me 12 hours. Hanging up. I faced Sophia. He bragged about a Tribune contact. "Need to ID them." Her lips twitched. "I know people in ink. But, the big gun, if he's embezzling. Concealing from investors, that's SEC bait. Jail time." The gravity sank in. Torching Alex could scorch the whole firm. Jobs. Dad's legacy. Maybe we flip the board first. Meetings in 4 days. He owns the agenda. Not if Victor Lang insists. Victor. Dad's oldest ally on the board. 8% holder. Neutral so far. Risky, Sophia cautioned. "Miss. And he crushes you for good." I pictured Dad's portrait in the lobby. Employees' faces. Marcus's ruin. My silence. "Draft a cease and desist on the fakes. Hold fire. And let's build the case like courts tomorrow." She gripped my arm. "Your dad raised a warrior." As I left, Alex texted, "TikTok." "Sis." I ignored it, letting him savor imagined panic. Sun Tzu's deception was his unwitting lesson. Game on. That night, I drove to Mom's in Oak Park, the old Victorian where we'd grown up. Her sanctuary post-surgery with views of Dad's planted oaks. She was in the solarium. Frail but eyes fierce. "Emily. This isn't social." I knelt. "Mom. Alex is gunning for me." She sighed. "I feared this. Gave him proxy thinking it'd unite you. He's plotting a sell-off. Gut the company." "No," she snapped. Fire flashing. "Your father dreamed generations. Revoke the proxy? Can't without ironclad cause he'd sue. And I'm weak." But she straightened. "I have board whispers. Elaine Foster owes me debts. And Paul Grant, his son's under you. Right? Kyle. Sharp kid. Time for old favors. Leaving." Hope flickered. Home. I pored over my drive, patterns of theft. Ghosts of fraud. At 1 a.m. Derek called. Jackpot. Encrypted dump incoming. Password, Dad's motto. Integrity builds empires. Files flooded. Alex emailing Victor Kane at Summit Capital about dumping 55% assets cheap. Then flipping via Cayman shells for hidden gains. The killer, once M's neutralized. Board's mine. Singapore partners make us filthy off books. Derek. This is dynamite. More. Spyware on your rig. 6 months. He spied your every move. Rage boiled. Turn it. Feed him defeat. Done. Next on. I played broken, emailed recruiters, browsed Miami condos, drafted quits, all for his eyes. Sophia dug. Mom pulled strings. By deadline eve, Victor Lang rang. Your mom flagged anomalies. My digs confirm, he's robbing us blind. I shared Derek's haul. Enough to end him. But scandal could sink us. Handle internal, force resignation. Buyout. With what cash? I have a backer. That afternoon, I dialed Rebecca Sinclair, head of Sinclair Holdings, our top rival who'd bid on us twice. Emily Hayes. Bold move calling. Proposition. Fund Alex's buyout for 25% stake. Board seat. Pause. Send specs. If legit. 12 hours. Deadline hit. I watched Dawn gild Chicago when Alex barged in. Time's up. He slapped contracts down. Sign or headlines roll. I feigned perusal. Phone recording hidden. Smart play. The fakes. The leak. When'd you turn enemy? He sneered. Enemy? You're a hurdle. Always with your morals. Killing deals. Like Jordan. His eyes slit. He meddled. In your theft. Prove it. The summit dump? Board won't greenlight without me. They'll bend. Once your west side mess hits, you're toast. I window gazed. Dad'd hate this. Dad's dust. I stopped tape. Fired to Sophia and Victor. You're out. Resign. Sell fair. Vanish. Face paling. Bluff. Derek says hi. He blanched. Liar. Printout slid. Singapore email. Illegal hack. Authorized backups. He crumpled. You tank the firm? You did. I'm salvaging. Defeat cracked him. Started small. Bad bets. Kane bailed with the flip. Not my problem. Can't buy me out. Sinclair can. Pay debts. Start fresh. Our enemy? Better than your ruin. He rose. Until bored. Choose wise. He ghosted next days. But Derek flagged frantic digs. SEC outreach. Flipping script on you. Sophia, false filing? Suicide. Night before. Victor, Alex's bribing waivers. Paul's son Kyle's tempted. I called Kyle. Your dad's pressured. Your path's merit-based. Not this. Send proof. Hour later, dad's solid. Board dawn. Packets waited. Fraud dossiers. Legal briefs. Sinclair bid. Alex arrived with suits. Lawyers? Meet SEC's Harlan Reed. Probing misconduct. Bold. Perfect, I countered. Packets detail Alex's embezzlement. Libel. Projector lit. Alex's bribe email to zoning pal. Favor on west side. 40K wired. Silence. Then door. Zoning guy. Flanked by FBI. Mr. Hayes. Bribery arrest. Chaos. Alex bolted up. Set up. Self-made. As cuffed. Summit legit. Harlan. Fraudulent flip. Board ousted him unanimous. Victor to Alex. Fired. As let out. Dad'd despise you. No. What you twisted. I love you still. Couldn't let you burn it all. Post-arrest. Board froze his votes. Sinclair entered, by 25%. Trust rest for staff. Emily trustee. Why? Partnership. Not conquest. Approved. Harlan, full access. Everything. Alone. I called Sophia. Done. Holding. Hollow. Employees rallied later. Truth shared. Trust plan unveiled. Job safe. Owners now. Applause healed a sliver. Sinclair sealed docs, saved its heart. Media frenzy hit. Stock dipped. But pressers spun redemption. Weeks on. Alex indicted. Bailed. Assets iced. Courtroom glance, regret? His plea deal, guilty. For years. Shares sold quiet. I doubled spousal stipend. Letter months later, understand now. Saved us from me. Be better, Hayes. Filed away. Year post. Shareholders. Profits soared. Foundation launched. Mom beamed. Team thrived. Dad's portrait flowered weekly. We did it. Call from zoning guy. Thanks for mercy. Sunset view. Alex behind bars. But justice bittersweet. Victory's price. Family scarred. But legacy endures. Messy. Real. Enough.